Welcome to the finale of River City Ransom EX. And by the way, this is a Alex exclusive recruit. You have to have a high reputation in order for to actually recruit Gary. And Gary, how shall I put this, is only good enough for you to get through most of the game, not all of it. Because let's face it, this guy, I mean, you could change their behavior. The computer is still going to jump off the cliff in order to maintain their reputation. Here's the problem. When they do that, it screws over you, because your allies dying is going to ruin your reputation. By the way, what I'm doing here is pretty much one of the prerequisites for another secret boss, and that, by the way, is Conan. And the only reason why I'm showing off Conan, because he wasn't in the original game. I didn't show off Ted because of the fact that Ted is pretty much the same thing as Rex. If you have a bad reputation and you manage to beat Rex, you'll just have to beat up the gangs again and have a bad reputation, and Ted will show up to kick your ass. Except Ted is tougher than Rex. So yeah, bear that in mind. That's all you basically need to know about Gary, but more importantly, Gary can also be recruited in Sherman Park if you haven't recruited him by Crosstown High, which, by the way, is where you fight Blade. And Gary is pretty much useless against other bosses other than Moose. And speaking of bosses, this is Conan. You can fight him if you want to, but he's not going to drop any money. Instead, he's going to immediately join your cause because of the fact that he was tricked into doing this by the plague. So in other words, if you have a high reputation and you beat up a bunch of generic dudes, Conan is easily going to join you. But not just that. The generic dudes is going to fill up your entire roster. So yeah, that is basically what's going to happen with Conan. Now, again, you can fight him, but why? He's not going to give you any sort of money. Out of all the generics, he's the brokest one. So there you go. Let him join. He'll bring 3 guys with him. He'll bring 2 guys with you. And another thing, the generic dudes are excessively weak. And if they won't hurt your reputation punching them in the face, they will hurt your reputation because for some reason the AI keeps jumping off the cliff. And these guys are pretty much paper tigers. Now then, after you get a high reputation and go to Sherman Park, you'll find Rick here as Ryan's teammate. Now, Rick is pretty much the equivalent to Gary, except Rick is a little bit stronger than Gary. Although, Rick does not have the leaping punch like Gary, still Rick is pretty decent to have up until you get to Thor. Then, things will get a little bit worse for you. But whatever the case, this is only when you're playing as solo characters. If you have a team, neither Rick nor Gary will show up. And you can also change the strategy for him again to behavior. To good behavior. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, oh wait, he has a flip kick. Never mind, I thought he had a dash punch, but he has a flip kick, which is pretty cool. And you're wondering why all these mob guys keep showing up. Well, here's the thing. I set the enemies to 20 instead of 10. So that way you gain more reputation faster by beating all the guys that show up. And since they show up 4 at a time, that's 5 waves of 4. 4 times 5 is 20, so you'll probably beat most of the games. And that'll gain your reputation a lot quicker. That's a good tip in case you want to get some good reputation. Also, my stats were through the roof. I used Alex, and yeah, that is actually a secret cheat which you have to beat the game as Alex with certain stats and beat the game as Ryan with certain stats. But load Alex's character on the Ryan and rename it Riki, and reload Ryan's stats onto Alex and call him Kunio. That way, both of them will end up turning into one of the Dragon Twins. I couldn't pull it off, so I wouldn't even worry about it, but it's purely cosmetic in the way sense. Now then, since Thor, I threw him off a cliff and I had high reputation, Thor joins my group. Now there's a good reason why I want Thor on my group. Thor will have a secret encounter had I actually gone to the Westville Mall. No, Waterfront Mall, sorry. Wrong, I said Westville. Why did I say Westville? Waterfront, damn it. We're gonna have to go all the way back, however, to we're not going down there. Go back up, you fool. And stop jumping off of the cliff, you idiots. Alright. This is where we need to go. Now, if your reputation was good, you'll be fighting Ryan as Alex, or fighting Alex as Ryan. So, Alex is not really that hard. Actually, he's pretty much your basic stats. In other words, he's you, but it didn't have all of the upgrades. So see, how should I put this? He's based off of your teammate Ryan if you happen to save Ryan's character. So yeah, he's not that strong. Although I did take a beating on the way here, so might as well use this Omni Elixir to save myself. And the only reason why I have so much money is because of the fact of they have money they have codes that'll increase your money and increase your stats. I only used it to try to get a move on for this particular part due to the fact that I just want to go on ahead and get as much reputation as humanly possible to try to show off some of the events. But unfortunately, that does not work. You want to know why? Because on the way to an Ivan reputation mission, these two right here kept jumping off of the cliff. Now, if my reputation was exceedingly bad and I came over here and beat up all the gangs, it's not Ryan and Alex I'm going to be facing, no. It's Titus. And speak of the devil, when you go all the way back to Westville Mall, Titus will be here. Also, no, Waterfront Mall, sorry. Titus will be here. Also, again, I had low reputation, so I couldn't show off Jenny. But if you beat Ivan and recruit him, Titus will once again show up. Only this time, he'll show up to taunt you again. And also at the end of the game, if you beat the game as Alex, Slick will warn you about Titus. But Titus is actually pretty weak. The weakest boss in the entirety of the game. So that's basically it, folks. Well, it's been fun doing River City Ransom. But from here on in, on Thursday and Friday, it'll be Samurai Warriors 4 Empires. This is Surfing Man 985. Peace out.